Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Palama Kripaladari
Jai Radha Gopi Jana
Yashoda Nandana Vrajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashoda Nandana Vrajanaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Shri Ram Sankirtan ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, all Hare Krishna, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Gaur Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 28, entitled Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. Text number 9. Kaman
Kamanavilasandino
Yatha Yamamscha Kanyaya Vigatatma Gatik Sneha Putradaram Shalalayan Kaman Abhilashandino Yata Yamamscha Kanyaya Vigatatma Gatik Sneha Putradaram Shalalayan
Abhilashandino Yata Yamamscha Kanyaya Gadatma Gatishneha Putradaram Shalalayan
Kamanavilasandino Yata Yamascha Kanyaya
Yamamshikanya
Sneha
Atmagati Sneha
Pradarsam Chalalaya
Pradaram Shalalaya Matatis
Kamaya Shantino Yadiyamam
Shikanya
Yada
Atmagati Sneha Putradaram Shalalayam. Word to word meaning Kaman, objects of enjoyment, Abhilashan, always lusting after, Dina, the poor man, Yata Yaman, still, Cha, also, Kanyaya, by the influence of Kala Kanya, Vigata, lost, Atmagati, real purpose of life, Sneha, attachment to, Putra, sons, Dharan, wife, Cha, and Lalayan, affectionately maintaining. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The objects of enjoyment become stale by the influence of Kala Kanya. Due to the continuance of his lusty desires, King Purunjan became very poor in everything. Thus, he did not understand affectionate towards his wife and children, and very purport. This is exactly the position of present civilization. Everyone is engaged in maintaining the body, home, and family. Consequently, everyone becomes confused at the end of life, not knowing what spiritual life and the goal of human life are. In a civilization of sense gratification, there cannot be spiritual life because the person thinks only of this life, although the next life is a fact. No information is given about it. Kumagyanantimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranvitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Kadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padagamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Advaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Sri Vishakhan Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Avadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Gaura Tushe Nama He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jalapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sri Devi Pranamami Haripriya Nilachara Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balbhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaaya Te Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakturinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Extremely grateful to each one of you for taking out your valuable time and being present for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. In this world, People are so busy. We tell them to come to temple or to come for Bhagavatam class, they have no time. However, we see in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, it is said, Anartha upashamam saksha bhakti yogam adakshije. Lokasya ajarantu vidmam chakre satvata samhita. Whatever is troublesome in life, everything is actually purified just by hearing this message of Srimad Bhagavatam. All the problems of life can be solved just by giving humble reception to this message of Bhagavatam. Lokasya ajaranta vidvans. But unfortunately, people don't know this. Therefore, Vyasadeva has compiled this Srimad Bhagavatam, and we see Srila Prabhupada took so much time to translate it, practically sacrifice his night's sleep so that he can give this Bhagavatam. And he considered this as one of his greatest contribution. Yes, he did so many things. He built temples, he built, he traveled all the world, he did so much preaching, but still among all, he considered his books as greatest contribution. And he wanted us to take shelter of them, study them, understand them. He said, Yasya Vaishruyamanaya Krishna Paramapursha Bhakti Udbhate Pumsam Shoka Moha Bhaya Abhaya. Just by hearing this message of Krishna, Shoka Moha Bhaya Abhaya, one can free from Shoka, lamentation of past. How much time people spend lamenting about the past? Moha, one can be freed from all the illusions. Sometimes people think, oh, this will make me happy. They put so much efforts and then they realize, oh, this has become cause of great misery because they were in illusion. But by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, all moha is dispelled. And bhaya apaha. Bhaya means fear. Just by hearing the message of Bhagavatam, we can be freed of all the fears. Sometimes people are so fearful, they need insurance for everything. How much they spend for insurance, how much they work hard to earn the insurance. Lakshmi, But still, there is no insurance. There is no assurance of protection. And still one cannot become free from fear. But if we can take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, especially by hearing daily, one can be free from this shoka, moha, bhaya, abhaya. So all of you are very intelligent and very fortunate that you are making this a priority. This world is so powerfully governed by Maya, and Maya is so expert in distracting people on real goal of life that people have no time for solving the real problems of life in such a wonderful way given by Acharyas. Many times people are always consumed by so many problems. I'm not going to discuss all the problems, but maybe just for sake of exercise, which we'll do later, you can just note down some 3 problems which you have, which is consuming your consciousness. We are not going to discuss about them now, but in just write down maybe top 3 challenges that are consuming your consciousness in recent times. And when you're done, you just raise hands so I know you're done. Okay. So we see, we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 28. This is the story of Puranjan. And this chapter, there's so much elaborate description of old age, and then finally death, and then So especially in modern times, people don't want to talk so much about death. They want to cover up the things. But actually we see scriptures and acharyas very elaborately discuss about it. Life is a preparation and death is a exam. And any sincere student, he would like to discuss, think about exam. Because if one thinks about exam, one can become serious about studies, one can be serious about preparation. Rather, sometimes those who are really very serious, they also take mock test before examination. I remember, at least in India, before 10th standard, before 12th standard, before any important exams, maybe Advait can tell, there are always mock tests, no? Did you give any mock test before your JE exam?
Yeah, many.
Many.
Since last 1 2 years, like before.
So 1 2 years, no?
Yeah.
So before the exam of 1 2 years is just giving mock test, because and that's how one could crack JE and get into IIT and all these things. So you can't just pass difficult exams like that. You have to really prepare, and how much you are prepared, for that we can do some mock test. Or all the people, even Olympics. It's not that people directly go for running there. Before that, they practice and do mock these things. Anything is important, we do mock things. So we see death is examination. How much time we spend for preparing for that. Here Bhagavatam is describing about old age and death. Because when we talk about it, hear about it, then we can take life more seriously. When we think about death, we can become more and more conscious. We can become more and more Krishna conscious, and we can become less and less mechanical. Then we can also find our real shelters, and we can take more shelter of Acharyas, we can take more shelter of Prabhupada, Vaishnavas. In Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, in passing away, Bhishma Dev Prabhupada writes in one purport, every man or animal must die at a certain stage of life. But one who dies like Bhishma Dev attains perfection. And one who dies forced by the laws of nature dies like an animal. That is the difference between a man and an animal. The human form life is especially made for dying like Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev was a great devotee all throughout. He's a Mahajan. And especially we see the passing of Bhishma Dev. How at the time of passing away, he withdrew his all the senses and all consciousness, everything, and just focus on lotus feet of Krishna. And he glorified Krishna and seeing beautiful form of Krishna, glorifying Krishna, his conscious completely observed Krishna. He left and went back to Godhead and achieved perfection. So goal of life is not just to try to make this world, the miserable world, a better place to live, but go to the best place, back to Godhead, that we can live eternal life. Unfortunately, in this world, hardly there is discussion about it. It's only great acharyas like Prabhupada, through Bhagavatam, they're always conveying this message. If you read any book of Prabhupada, as soon as you open, just a few pages, you will see Prabhupada is talking, you have to go back to Godhead. And going back to Godhead, when we think about it, for a conditioned soul like us, it may appear practically impossible task. But for us alone, it may be impossible. It's just like a sparrow desiring to dry up the ocean. One time, it so happened that sparrow had laid her eggs, and that get carried away in the ocean. And sparrow was so desperate. And she was requesting some of the Dev that, my dear ocean god, please give my eggs back. Ocean did not pay any attention. She said, I will dry you up. Now sparrow trying to dry up ocean. Ocean god just didn't care. And then this little bird, she started taking water in the beak on the ocean and started flying and throwing water. And she was, started very desperately, sincerely working hard, trying to dry up the ocean. Now, what is the possibility of that sparrow drying up the ocean? Practically impossible. But because of the sincere effort, actually that was taken notice by carrier of Vishnu, Garuda. Garuda and sparrows also good. Garuda felt, oh, my little sister is struggling, I should help her. And then Garuda came, and ocean god, Samudra, that my dear ocean god, You return this eggs of the sparrow. Otherwise, I will try you up. So now that you knew, this Garuda is not ordinary person. He is servant of Lord Vishnu. And servant of Lord Vishnu are very empowered. They can do miraculous tasks, just like Vishnu. So immediately ocean god came and gave the eggs back to sparrow. Similarly, Prabhupada writes that we may be very tiny, and this ocean materialism may be very big, and to dive we may be difficult, but if we sincerely put efforts, that can attract the attention of the spiritual master, that can attract the attention of Prabhupada and previous acharyas, and by their mercy, it is possible to dry up materialism. It's possible that we get our love for God, which is being lost, and we can again go back to the kingdom of God. So it's very important that we keep and not get distracted by some spend to just solve all the problems of the world. Then I will take Krishna consciousness nicely, no? But it's just like somebody going on the ocean beach and saying, let these waves of ocean stop, then I will take bath. When are the waves of ocean going to stop? Never. If you want to take bath, he has to take bath now. So if you have to become Krishna, you have to become Krishna now. Not that, okay, when this problem is taken care of, I will become Krishna conscious. Problems in the world will never be taken care of. So we have to, with the problems, we have to take care of, become Krishna. Rather, when we become Krishna conscious, problems will become insignificant, or may not be a cause of any, may not be cause of great concern for us. Long time back, maybe 2003-4 or something, I was attending one seminar by His Holiness Bhakti Swami. He was giving seminar on die before you die. So he asked in the beginning, please write down, each one of you, when you die, what you want other devotees to say about you, what you want your spiritual master to say about you, what you want Prabhupada to say about you, what you want Krishna to say about you. You want that this guy just wasted his life in self-realization. You want them to say like that, or you want them to say, oh, this guy was such a Krishna conscious person, oh, so wonderful. And let me take him back to God. Okay, so what you want, Prabhupada, Krishna, Acharya, you can just write on something, 2-3 things. Generally, we see when person dies, there is memorial. People speak. Yes. Okay. Anybody like share what they want? Otherwise, Vaishnavas say one point.
Srila Prabhupada and spiritual master said, he loved me and then genuinely tried to follow my orders.
Yes.
And kept his vows.
He loved me. He really followed vows. And he really served. Yes. Anybody else?
Jolly.
Oh, he was such a blissful in Krishna consciousness. And he made everybody blissful in Krishna consciousness. Oh, wonderful. Yes.
Introduced to Krishna consciousness, many devotees.
Oh, he has been such an instrument of compassion. He has introduced so many people in Krishna consciousness and helped them to perfect their lives. Yes, madam.
That she was dedicated to her service.
Oh, she was so committed, so dependable, and whatever service she's took up. She did first class. Wonderful. Yes.
Sincerity.
Oh, she was not show bottle devotee. She was very sincere. No? Yes.
Didn't give up.
Oh, till last life, she hold on to my instructions, and she was such a Krishna conscious person. So this is what we want. So that is our goal of life. We want that in the end, Krishna is pleased with us. We want Prabhupada pleased with us. We want Guru is pleased with us. We want Vaishnava are pleased with us. And that's success of life. And imagine if you die today, what will they say?
Good riddance.
Finish the material suffering.
Uh-huh.
End of material suffering.
So if we die today, will they say same thing or they will say yes? So it's very important that we always and we can't cheat Krishna. We can't cheat Prabhupada. We can't cheat spiritual master. If we try to cheat them, we'll get cheated. So it's very important that we think what we want in our life. And if we know what we want and we work in that direction, then pain and pleasures will not be very distracting in life. But if you're not sure what exactly I want in my life, what I want to do in life, little pain comes, our consciousness will go in pain. If little pleasures come, we'll get distracted by pleasures. So we have to be focused in our purpose of life so that we don't get distracted. And when we study Prabhupada books and when we hear lectures and etc., then it helps us to be actually focused in purpose of our life. And especially if we are in good association, then that really helps. Our goal of life is to go back to God, but it's not that anybody and everybody can easily go. In that seminar, Bhakti Maharaj was telling that for going back to God, you need two qualifications. First is that you need invitation from the resident of the kingdom of God. And second, you need to develop qualities and consciousness like the resident of kingdom of God. For example, I had to come to America. I can't just come. I need an invitation first, from the resident of America. Or sometimes in clubs also, like there are different associations. If you want to be a member of that club, you need recommendation from existing member. Suppose doctors association, engineers association, whatever. You need some recommendation. Then you need to also have qualities like them. Then only you can become a member. Otherwise, you can't. So Maharaj was saying that if you want to go back to God, you need invitation. And we see all these acharyas, all our previous acharyas, Prabhupada, Bhakti, they are not the resident of this world, they are resident of spiritual world. They are coming here to give invitation. And they are inviting us, please come. Just chant Hare Krishna, follow instructions, come. Our spiritual master is representative of Krishna. He is coming and giving invitation to come back to God. So I receive invitation, but then we also have to develop qualities and consciousness like the resident of kingdom of God. If you have material consciousness, material desires, and if you want to enjoy in this world, then even if invitation is there, is not sufficient. So we have to work sincerely. And especially when we think of death, like here is talk about old age and death, that can help us to become a little serious. So I have a long way to go. I have to really now become serious. Time is passing. Imagine doctor, we go for a checkup and doctor sees us and then he says, my dear sir, my dear madam, my dear. So you have only 7 days to live. So what will happen to us? How will you live our remaining few days of our life? And imagine that only 7 days are remaining for us to die. You can try to picture yourself or imagine yourself, put yourself in that situation. Then just 7 days are there for us to live. Come a little bit picture or imagine and put yourself, how many of you are able to do that little bit? Now you can reflect on the three problems you had written, what you had written in the beginning of class. Now you have 7 days to leave the world and you can think about these problems. What do you think of those problems? Now 7 days to live, and these are the problems and three problems which have been consuming my consciousness. So, what do you think of those problems? But reflect. Yes, Chris.
They seem kind of trivial.
Oh, sometimes we spend so much of time and energy worrying about problems which are not worth worrying about, isn't it? Oh, so much time constantly worrying, but they're not worth worrying. Thank you, Chris. Yes.
An illusion. It's just an illusion.
They're of not significance, they're illusory. Yes, thank you. Yes, anybody else?
They're just temporary.
Problems are temporary.
You know,
Hmm?
in the whole scheme of things, they're just temporary.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Yes, anybody else? So we see there are so many things we are worrying about that is not worth worrying about. And there are so many things worth worrying. We are not investing our so much time and consciousness. What are things worth worrying? If you imagine I have to leave my body in 7 days, what are things really worth worrying?
What will be my consciousness at the time
Mm.
passing?
Worth worrying is what is my consciousness right now. At time of, don't think that at time of, sometimes people think at time of death, we can think about Krishna and go back to Krishna. No, death is nothing but, it's like you have calculator. In calculator, we press so many buttons, and death is nothing but like pressing equal to button. Now, when you press equal to button, what will come? It will depend what all buttons you have pressed before. It's sum total of everything what you have done. So what we have done all throughout life, sum total of it is comes at time of death. It's not that whole life we can do some revolution and think at time of death I will think of Krishna. I remember, and then I was in college days. We are going out for preaching, inviting our college friends. One friend, when we are talking about, you should come regularly chant, he was saying, "Arey, I know Bhagavad Gita." He said, Bhagavad Gita says, if you think of God at time of death, we can go back to Krishna. And he said, I know there was a great Ajamila. He did so much sinful activities. And at time of death, he thought about God and he went, he achieved perfection. So I know everything. So there is no need of, So we are trying to convince him, but somehow he was like, we see half knowledge is very dangerous thing. So people bring out wrong conclusions. And then it so happened that after practically about 5-6 months later, he came for the program. So I was surprised how he came for program. So I just after the program I met and said, "My dear Prabhu, happy to see you. And what inspired you to come here?" Then he said, "Prabhuji, do you remember that time we had discussion about death and discussion about how thinking of God at time of death?" Actually, he said after just a week later, I had a terrible accident. In our college, in front of our college is a highway actually. Sometimes many. So he said he just when he was driving, he just skid, and there was a terrible accident. And he said somehow I was about to die. Somehow I was saved. And then later on I was admitted to hospital, and then that time when I was hospitalized, he said I was just thinking, what did I think at time of death, So he said I couldn't think of that. And then he was hospitalized for so many months. Somehow after great difficulty he came out. And then he said I realized it's thinking of God at time of death is not so easy. You need to practice. If he says, okay, if you want to get Olympic gold, you just what you have to do, you have to just shoot arrow at the bullseye. It's not very difficult. You just shoot arrow at the bullseye. We can get gold, But it is so easy. If you just directly go to shoot arrow at bullseye, you have to practice so much. Keep on practicing, practicing, practicing. Then maybe there is hope and chance that you may shoot. But you don't practice, it is not possible. Simply unless we practice hearing about Krishna, remembering Krishna, chanting Krishna, it's not possible to think of Krishna. At time of death, whatever we are most attached to, that is thought which predominates us. And accordingly, we get the next body. So we see there are so many things not worth worrying in our life, and we spend so much time worrying. And there are so many things worth worrying about my consciousness. How much love I have developed for lotus feet of Krishna, lotus feet of spiritual master, lotus feet. So there are so many things worth worrying, and most of the time even worrying things are not worth worrying. I'll just read one meditation which was inspiring for me. I'll just read out. This is also meditation from his own book, it's from our book, Die Before, and the 16th meditation, the ninefold process of surrender. So when Bhakti Maharaj had got cancer, in final days, he wrote this book, and he has reflected all his feelings and emotions and all these things and his realizations in that. So he had leukemia, death threatening. He had just few days to live. So in that he writes, meditation 16, the ninefold process of full surrender. My soul, feeling all my anxieties, felt this was a good time to intervene. My soul said, why are you in so much anxiety about whether you will die or live? If you live, what will you continue to do? Devotional service, of course. If you die, what will you do? Devotional service, of course. So, Jivova Morova. Either you die or you live as you like. Whether you live or die, it is okay because there is so much service waiting for you. Whether you stay in this same physical body or change bodies, your spiritual master has already arranged your assignments. Your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna and how to get freed from your separation from them. So don't worry about too much, You just worry how to please Guru and Krishna. That is worth worrying. You are in great anxiety about your medical care and treatments. Sometimes you are disturbed by the side effects of the drugs, and at other times you are overwhelmed by the amount of medication you must digest in form of tablets, liquids, and injections. And yet, at other times, you are in anxiety, wondering how long you must continue with these protocols. So when one is serious sick, always anxiety. What is the effect of this? What is it? He said, mind is full with all this anxiety. And he's telling, oh, why not be in more anxiety about Shravanam, hearing the transcendental message of Bhakti Ras? Your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna and how to get freed from your separation from them. Yes, we may have to take medicines, we may have to, yes, we can do that, but we don't have to consume our consciousness with that. We want to consume, better think about how I can hear nicely, how I can absorb my conscious hearing, how I can please Guru, how I can please Krishna, how I can please Vaishnavas. My soul reported, you worry each day if the cancer has spread to other organs of the body and how seriously it is affecting other organs also. Are you forgetting that whole material body is disease? Sometimes the disease state of the body is very obvious, but sometimes not. When it is more of its temporary nature, helping us to become less absorbed in it. So one can naturally absorb your air. Now cancer has spread to my foot. Now it is coming to knees. Now it's spreading to lungs and is spreading to the different parts of the body. It's a great anxiety. But Maharaj is saying, hey, why you unnecessarily worry about that? You better be in anxiety about Kirtana, chanting in glories of Lord. Oh, how am I chanting? How am I absorbing chanting? What is quality of my chanting? As one calls on Lord's name with sufficient purity, reciprocation is immediate. Your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna and how to get freed from your separation from them. My soul continued, you are in so much anxiety about your extreme austere diet, and sometimes you do not even have an appetite. Sometimes you reflect on all of the wonderful things you used to eat. But as your body is aging, it is natural for you to become more alert about what you eat and what you drink. So sometimes we see when we are sick and old, so much anxiety about food. If I eat this, what is the effect of it? Oh, what is if I eat this one? Very, very careful. So Maharaj is saying here, this is why you should be in more anxiety about smarnam. Instead of meditating on all the food items you eat, better meditate on wonderful pastimes of the Lord and His servants. By remembering them, a devotee gets their association. The smarnam is a very powerful thing. When we are meditating on great personalities, Acharya, spiritual master, great devotees, we can get their association directly. They are not material beings, they are spiritual beings. By meditating on them, remembering them, we can experience their presence. Your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna, and how to get freed from your separation from them. My soul now exclaimed in an almost spirit, it is obvious you are in anxiety due to having lost so much of weight and to not sleeping peacefully at night. This experience are surely an indication of limitations and harassment of the physical body. During night, when your foot, which is infiltrated by cancer cells, gives you more trouble, you must. So we see naturally one after another, his cancer was really very serious, and then he's saying one is not able to sleep, one is not be able to peaceful, and so much anxiety. Whole night not able to sleep is so difficult, and if you are not able to sleep, you can't think of anything else. So Maharaj is saying, instead of worrying so much of your weight loss and all this, better you focus on Pada Sevanam. Instead of worrying about this cancer in feet, think of lotus feet of Lord. Serving, don't forget that your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna and how to get freed from your separation from them. My soul kept on talking, knowing that I have a short time to understand all that is necessary. He said, you are very much anxious about not being able to travel and preach. You have traveled around the world several times giving lectures, seminars, and workshops. You should not worry about this so much now. More important than what we speak is how we live and what consciousness we make. You should be more concerned with Archanam, worshipping deity of the Lord. Even when you cannot be physically available to others, you can use this as a time to take more shelter of the service to the deity. The deities know our most personal desires and needs and are most merciful to their sincere servants. So instead of worrying, I am not able to do this program, that one, worry how I can take shelter of deities. Even if I'm bedridden, I can just take darshan, I can offer prayers, I can serve deities. So therefore, your anxiety should be about how to please Guru and Krishna and how to get freed from your separation from them. My soul very mercifully tried to help me more by explaining, I know that one of your worst fear is to die a slow, painful death. Already there are times when you want to cry out to Guru and Krishna that you cannot bear this anguish another day. However, you should, so he's saying that some this anxieties, when one falls sick, like terrible sick, these are natural anxieties which come. Oh, I don't want to die this slow, painful death. Every day is such difficult. So Maharaj is saying, instead of worrying about that slow, painful death, but forget that. Better you focus on how to take shelter of Vandanam, prayers. Prayers are such an intimate connection with Guru and Krishna. Through prayers, you can present your case before the Lord and beg Him to allow His will to manifest. If it is His will for a slow, painful transition, let it be so. For our worshipful Lord only arrange what is best for the jiva who is fixed deeply in profound internal prayer. So once again, I remind you, your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna and how to get freed from your separation from them. My soul stared at me while saying, you are very afraid of being forgotten by the sadhus, but this is a foolish concern. First of all, we should not be eager for name, fame, glory, adoration, and distinction. Secondly, we should always remind ourselves that all the services are really an offering to Guru and Krishna. And they are both fully aware and appreciative of our unconditional service. They are the best friends and well-wishers of everyone. So don't worry whether the world will remember you or not. Krishna will remember, Guru will remember. They are there. They'll reciprocate. They know. So they are the best friends and well-wishers of everyone. It is better for you to be more focused and more anxious about dasyam and sakyam, being a humble servant and desiring friendly, appreciative service to and association with Lord. After all, your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna, how to get freed from your separation from them. My soul slowed down his speech as if to make internalize each of his words. He said, my beloved Bhakti Tirtha Swami, who is non different from myself, once all fear, attachments, and false ego are destroyed, will be fully united as one soul, eternally serving the divine couple. Please give up your anxieties about whether you will live or die, or how long you must continue with these difficult treatments and their side effects. You must give up all your fears about the cancer spreading. Do not give any more energy to worrying about diet, weight loss, or loss of sleep, because you are ultimately headed towards trading in this harassing limited body for a new spiritual one. Lastly, do not worry about dying with excruciating pain and being forgotten. Your illness is a sign of Guru and Krishna's special and personal mercy being extended to you. Your outcome has already been arranged. Your prayers were heard and accepted even before they left your mind. All you have to do now is focus more on Atmanivedan, full surrender. Hmm. You have spoken about, written about, and constantly heard about the prayer of power of full surrender. Now the day and time has come where Atmanivedan is knocking on your front door. Just I have been telling you, your anxiety should be how to please Guru and Krishna and how to get freed from your separation from them. Very soon, by the mercy of your spiritual master, you will be lovingly forced to embrace full surrender. So be joyful and radiant, because only moments away, your life, or better to say, your death will be successful. Yes, my darling, you are that lowly beggar whose prayers have been heard and accepted. His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj. Ki jai. So when old age comes, death comes, so much anxiety comes. So Maharaj is saying what we should be anxious about and what we should not be anxious. Okay, all these things we need to do it. We need to take treatment. Yes, we should do it. We need to do all the whatever, but we don't have to absorb our consciousness. We have to work hard how to absorb our consciousness in Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. And especially when we fully surrender to Krishna, then we should know our life is successful, and especially our death will be successful, and then we'll be able to go back on that. Okay. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Yes, Prabhu.
I remember when Radha Swami was with him, I believe the last 6 weeks of his life,
Yeah.
which is extraordinary because everybody's pulling Maharaj all over the world, but he committed to being with him. And I forget exactly how long before Maharaj passed that Radhanath Maharaj asked him, because he was in a lot of pain physically. And Maharaj asked, how is it? How is it? How is it your passage? And so Bhakti Swami answered, it doesn't get any better than this. Because he was getting a lot of mercy.
Yes.
From Shri Radha and Krishna. So, wow, did he ever pass the test?
He said, I don't want to trade this with anything of this world.
Yeah.
This is so extended. Though physical body and all this in great pain, but I'm feeling so much of mercy and respiration of Krishna. I'm feeling so much. And just crying tears of ecstasy. Yeah.
There you go.
Amazing. Especially he has written this book, actually, it's filled with so many deep realizations, very inspiring. Final days, this final book, Die Before You Die. Yes.
Thank you for a really nice class. It reminded me of a long time ago, I did this seminar and it said, write down, you had pen and paper, write down if you only had 24 hours to live, what would you do? So everybody got their pen and paper. We started writing and a few seconds later, he said, stop. He said, what if you don't even have that amount of time? And so the conclusion was we should be very excited about our connection with God. And so everything is absorbed in, just connecting with God at the time of death.
Yes, and for that we have to really practice daily. Sincerely, yes. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Prabhu. Very enlivening and fun, sweet class. Bhakti Tirtha Swami is one of my big inspirations. I've read that book and a few of his books. Very inspiring. So why is it we find that, sometimes we have the theoretical knowledge of like this stuff that, things are very serious. We have to be grave. We have to become serious about Krishna consciousness. Yet we find that distractions overwhelm us. We become overwhelmed by the distractions and we end up being subjected to them. And even though we know that actually this is a waste of my time, this is my energy and effort, but still I'm so absorbed in this distraction. How do we overcome that?
So therefore, we have to take to this process of Shravanam. By Shravanam, we'll understand what is important, what is not. Therefore, Prabhupada wrote this book so that we can read. That is Shravanam. Therefore, Prabhupada gives so many classes we can hear. Therefore, Prabhupada established this system of daily hearing, morning and evening. Whole day may be busy with services. There is a sandwich between this hearing process. But when we hear, then we can act in a Krishna conscious way. And when we are busy services, sometimes we may forget. And then again, in the end of the day, when we read here, again we can become conscious. So it's so we have to sandwich all the services and all activities in between hearing and chanting. That will give us, we'll be reminded again and again.
Better
We need reminder again and again. And also, especially we need good association. We are product of our association. We associate with sincerity what is our really Krishna conscious. Then we can be Krishna. And that is our choice, whom we want to associate with. If you want to be just frivolous and just waste our time, we can associate with anyone. But if we really are serious, then we have to choose our association wisely. That association that can uplift us, inspire us, and help us focus on goal of life, remember us, the goal of life, and put our energies in the right direction. So, and therefore, we have to be very grateful for this Sangha. It's in the Sangha, actually, we are reminded. Alone, very difficult. Alone, we get distracted either by pleasures or by pain. But in association, we understand what is really important and we can focus on that. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Nadiyam Bihari. Yes.
Thank you. Another very nice talk. I just wonder if you have any advice on serving Guru and the best ways to do that, or any experience, or
There are many ways to serve Guru, but it begins with hearing. Most important things, hear the classes and hear the instructions and try to execute that. Prabhupada writes, among all the instructions of spiritual master, instructions to chant minimum 16 rounds is most important. So we have to make sure that every day we chant 16 rounds. Every day when we come in front of Prabhupada, we are offering flowers. We can recommit ourselves to chant 16 rounds, follow the principles, and assist spiritual master in the mission. So our connection is through Vani, and Vani means when you hear, we need to apply it. In India, at least in villages, we saw many buffaloes. I don't know, I have not seen buffaloes. Have there buffaloes out there? Huh? Sometimes we are driving the car, or all of a sudden, buffaloes come on the way.
Not the type of buffaloes that are in India. There's an American buffalo, but it's not like the water buffalo.
Okay. So in India, very dry, buffaloes come on the way, So you press the horn, it makes pam, 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 buffalo doesn't move. Hmm. So Prabhupada said, we should not be hearing like buffalo, he's hearing the horn, but is not acting on it, Buffalo. Here means we have to apply. So especially applying the teachings of spiritual master, and also we are in ISKCON, so we should understand when we are serving temple, that is also service to Guru, and when we are serving personally, physically Guru, that is also service to ISKCON. So one should not discriminate or differentiate. Okay, serving Guru means only when I'm physically there with Guru and maybe cooking for him, cleaning his clothes. That is service to Guru. No, if you are in temple worshipping deity, that is also service to Guru. And if you are going out for preaching, book distribution, that is also service to Guru, because Guru's desire is to assist Srila Prabhupada in his mission. And when we assist in preaching mission or any services, we should know Guru will be extremely pleased. Also similarly, when we serve Guru, when we are washing the clothes of Guru, we should not think, maybe I am not doing service for the mission. No. When we are washing clothes of Guru, or we are serving Guru personally, cooking for Guru, that is also service to mission, service to ISKCON, service to Krishna. So one should not discriminate between service. One should know whenever there is an opportunity to get physical association, we can take that. And when it is not, then we can take benefit of one association. Ultimately, one is very important, and taking shelter of one association is hearing, also trying to apply that in life. And then we'll feel actually really belonging. Like sometimes we see there are people coming from India, they're working here, they're working day and night, sometimes sacrifice, but their heart is there in India, and they send every month some money back to India, because they. So similarly, we may be anywhere, we may be in college, we may be straight, but we can have a heart in our family, Krishna family, thinking, I'm doing this, how it will please Prabhupada, how it will please spiritual master, how it will please Vaishnava. So whatever we are maybe out, but we should be always thinking like that. And so then any service we do becomes service. So we should do with that, with desire to please Guru, Krishna and Vaishnavas. Like here Maharaj saying, we should be worrying, hey, I'm doing this activity, it will be pleasing to Guru and Krishna. If Guru is in front of me, will I do the same thing? If Guru is in front of me, will I speak same thing? We have to be little conscious, and then if we feel I won't do or speak same thing from Guru better, then I want. So we can try to reflect on this. And especially, therefore, every day we have actually Mangalarti, where we remember Guru, every day we have Guru Puja, where we worship Prabhupada. So that helps us to know for us that why we are doing what we are doing. We are doing it for their pleasure, under their instruction. Thank you. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Guru Premanande. Was there any mic?